Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to get back into our compound interest challenge. The last video I uploaded was the Hong Kong Baccarat strategy. I received a ton of positive feedback, so I'm glad everybody is enjoying that video. The Hong Kong strategy is exactly what we will be playing today for session number 18. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. We are increasing our starting unit size to $8. I'm looking for a balance of $481, which means we have to make around $23 for session number 18. Now, I will be combining the Hong Kong Baccarat strategy with the Star version 1. So for stage 1, if you take our starting unit size of $8 and divide it by 5, you get $1.60. Now, I can't really place $1.60 bets, so what I'm gonna do is alter the stage 1 of the Star slightly, and the progression will look something like this. 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay, that will be my stage 1 progression. And if I lose all 5 of those bets without hitting the parlay, we will do the usual and head over to stage 2. Okay? Before we get started, if you would like to support this channel, go ahead and smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new, turn on bell notifications, that way you won't miss any of my brand new uploads. Alright, let's get session number 18 started. Let's take a look at our balance, $455.52. Keep in mind that I am playing with Bitcoin, okay guys? So my balance will fluctuate depending on the price of Bitcoin that day. I'm gonna look for a brand new table. Speed Baccarat J, fresh shoe. The first result has come out. It is a player. So what do we do when playing the Hong Kong strategy? We write down our 3 pattern, which will be the first 3 results of the shoe, as long as there is 1 player and 1 banker in the 3 pattern, okay? I don't like when my 3 pattern is player, 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 or banker, banker, banker. I'm looking for at least 1 of each. Okay, so far we have 2 players. Now, if this third free hand is a player, we will wait it out until we get a banker, since we want our 3 pattern to include at least 1 player and 1 banker, okay? We are good to go. We do get a banker. So our 3 pattern is player, player, banker. We will now take a free hand and use check marks and X's to record the results. So if a player comes, you can see that the first result of our 3 pattern is a player. We would put a check mark here, okay? But no, a banker won, so I'm gonna put an X here. I'm now looking for the X, so my first bet will be on banker. Why banker? Because our free hand was an X, so I'm just following what happened previously, all right? And in order to get an X here, my second result of our 3 pattern has to be wrong, all right? You can see that it's player, so I'm looking for a banker here, which is why I placed the bet on banker as we pick up that win. Okay, +2. I'm waiting for the next row, but we will continue recording the results even though we are done with this row. And we will parlay our next bet since we picked up that win. Player wins. This was a banker, so this was also an X. If you're playing the original Hong Kong strategy, this would be your trigger, 3 X's in a row, you would be betting for the check mark here, okay? But since I'm playing it my way, I will wait for a free hand here and then follow suit. Player wins. This is a check mark. So I'm looking for the check mark here for my parlayed bet. So let's put 4 on player. Because my second result of the 3 pattern, you can see up here, it's a player. So in order for this to be a check mark, this next hand would have to be player, which is what I'm betting on. And we're playing Star version 1, so after a win, you parlay your bet. Odds are in our favor. There we go, player wins. Pick up a check mark, +4. Okay, we are at +6 right now. Remember our trigger, it is a double opposite, okay? So If a row were to come, check mark X, check mark, that would be our trigger to exit the shoe. Or if we get an X, check mark X, which would also be a double opposite, we would exit the table. All right, so that's one of the triggers as we get another check mark. You can see that the Hong Kong original strategy would have also won. Okay, 3 X's in a row were followed by 3 check marks in a row. As I was saying, we are gonna play until, you know, we get to a +8 or so, or if we hit our stop loss, which would be double opposites. Okay, so start of the next row. This is a banker win, resulting in an X. I'm looking for another X here, so I'll put 2 on banker. And if we hit this, we will exit the table with a +8 in profit. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we lose that. We get a check mark. I'm now looking for the check mark here. So my bet will be on banker. That was a -2. Our highest profit level was +$6. Remember that. Okay, player wins. All right, take a look. That is a double opposite, -2. So this is our trigger to exit the table. All right, we pick up a +$2 for this shoe, and that is our trigger to exit. So what I'm gonna do is clear everything. All right, I'm gonna put +2 here just so we could remember. Let's exit and look for a brand new table. The Baccarat A table is underway. First 3 results are player, banker, player. That will be our 3 pattern for this shoe. Looking for a free hand here, and then we will start betting. If I leave a shoe with a profit, I will start over on stage 1 of the star. If I leave a shoe in the negative, we will continue where we left off on stage 1. I hope that makes sense. Player wins. This matches. So this is a check mark. I'm looking for banker now as I'm following the check mark. First bet on banker. Our goal for session number 18 is $481. Okay, banker wins. We get the check mark. Perfect. +2. We're still going to record the last result here on row 1 before we move on to the next row, and we'll parlay our next bet. Banker wins, so this is an X. After this free hand, we will start betting again. Banker wins, we get an X. I'll follow the X, so I'm looking for player here. Why player? Because take a look at our 3 pattern. The second result is banker, and if I'm looking for an X, I need this to be wrong, which is why I'm placing a bet on player. Natural 9, perfect. We do get the X, +4. The last table we were on, when we were at a +6, we stuck around and hit our stop loss trigger. So you know what? I'll take this +6, add it to our total. We are at +8 right now. I'm gonna go ahead and exit the table here. All right. And let's look for a brand new shoe. Speed Baccarat D, first 2 results are player. Okay, player, player, and we just got a banker, so our 3 pattern is player, player, banker. We will now take a free hand before we start betting. We are at +$8 at the moment. Banker wins, we get an X. I'll follow the X here, so my first bet will be on banker. And again, we left the last shoe with a profit, so I will start over on stage 1. We have slightly altered stage 1, remember, because our unit size is $8. Stage 1 goes 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. Banker wins, we get another X, plus 2. I will parlay my next bet during row number 2. That was a check mark. Ready to start row number 2. Banker wins, another X, I'll follow suit. I'll place my parlay on banker. That's another X. Banker does win, we get the X, plus 4. We pick up another plus 6 on this table. I'm gonna add it to our total here. We are at plus 14 at the moment. Good enough for me. Okay, gonna exit, look for another brand new shoe. Speed Baccarat A, dealer just pulled out a fresh shoe. So we're gonna see what our 3 pattern will be. Now you can see what I'm doing here, guys. You don't have to wait until your double opposite trigger comes in order to exit the shoe. You can exit when you hit your win target as well. So as soon as I hit my 3 stage 1 units, I should say, I just exit and look for a new table, because a double opposite is bound to happen. You will get some shoes where you won't get a double opposite for a long time, but if you hit your win goal, there's no reason to stay any longer. That's just how I look at it. As the first result is a banker, let's go ahead and put B. Okay guys, take a look. The first 3 results are banker, banker, banker. You all know that we need at least 1 player and 1 banker as our 3 pattern. So I'm gonna wait until a player shows up, and then we will take the last 3 results for our 3 pattern, okay? There we go, we get a player win. So the last 3 results of this shoe is banker, banker, player. So we will stick with that as our 3 pattern. I'll take a free hand and then we will start betting. Player wins, this is an X. We will follow the X, which means my first bet will be on player. Natural 9, player wins, we get the X, plus 2. I will parlay my next bet. First row, all X's. If you were playing the original Hong Kong strategy, you would be betting for the check mark here. But I'm playing it my way, so I'll take a free hand here before we start betting. Player wins, we get another X. Okay, my parlay will be on player, since I am also looking for the X. No check marks yet. Baccarat is a streaky game. Strange things happen in this game. So let's see if player wins here. Natural 8 versus natural 9. So we lose that as we get a check mark. We are now going to be placing a bet on the check mark. So I'm looking for player. Player does win, we get the check mark. Okay, plus 2. Let's start row number 3. I will parlay my next bet after this free hand. Banker wins, check mark. Also looking for the check mark here, so parlay on banker. Nope. Player wins that. We get the X -4. Looking for the X now, so banker bet here. On our third bet on stage 1 of the star. If we miss this, we will place a $3 bet. Okay, so banker does win that one. We get an X +2. Can we hit back to back here? Banker wins, check mark. My parlay will be on banker. Banker does win. We hit our parlay. +4. I will continue recording until the next row. We are at +$2 at the moment, so we're going to continue to play for a little longer. Banker wins. Okay, that is a check mark. I'm placing a bet on another check mark. So banker bet. We are starting over on stage 1 since we hit back to back. Okay, so I just moved it down here so it's easier to see. Natural 9, banker wins, another check mark. Perfect, +2. We are at +$4 at the moment. Start of the next row. If we can hit our next parlay, we will exit this shoe because we will be at +$8. So let's see what this free hand is. Check mark or X? Player wins, we get an X. I will follow the X, place my parlay on player. Nope, banker wins. Check mark, -4. I'll place my next bet on player as we're following the check mark. Banker wins. Take a look, we get a double opposite. All right, -2. And this is our trigger to exit the table. Since we are leaving the shoe with a loss, as you can see, -2, we will continue stage 1 where we left off. So this was our second attempt, all right, at the $2 level. So I'm gonna keep this up, but clear this. Okay, let's exit and find a new table. Speed Baccarat J, dealer is bringing out a brand new shoe. We will continue where we left off on stage 1. So this was our first attempt, second attempt. So we are on the third attempt of the $2 bet on stage 1. And again, since we left the last shoe with a -$2 loss, that is why we're continuing where we left off on stage 1. Okay, banker wins the first hand. I will move everything down so it's easier for you guys to see. Okay, so our 3 pattern for this table is banker, banker, player. Let's take a free hand and then continue betting. We get an X. I will follow the X, so I'm looking for player here. Banker wins, check mark. Looking for the check mark now. So my bet will be on player. Remember, I continued where I left off on stage 1. Our progression was 2-2-2, 3-3. Okay, so if we don't hit back to back soon, we're gonna have to go over to stage 2. Banker wins, double opposite, -3. Right away we get our trigger to exit. Sometimes this does happen. Alright, and we're gonna head over to another table and continue our stage 1 progression. Alright guys, I'm gonna clear this once again. And let's head over to another table. Speed Baccarat I, waiting for our first 3 results. Okay, our 3 pattern is player, banker, player. I'll take a free hand and then continue betting. Still on stage 1 here, down to our last bet. So we have to hit back to back. If we don't, we're heading over to stage 2 for the first time today. Banker wins, we get an X. I will follow the X, so I'm looking for player here. Last bet on stage 1, we have to hit back to back. Nope, banker wins, check mark. I'm now looking for a check mark. We are now on stage 2. Our unit size is $8. Okay. So -3 here. Stage 2 for the first time. Looking for a check mark here. Nope, banker wins. Again, we get our first row trigger. We have to exit this table at a -8 here. Alright, sometimes this happens, guys, so let's go ahead and clear this. I'm looking for another table. Speed Baccarat M. We got back-to-back triggers on the very first row. So let's see what happens on this table. Okay, we have a 3 pattern of banker, player, banker. Still on stage 2 because we've exited the last 2 tables with a loss. So let's see what this free hand is and then we will continue betting. Player wins, we get an X. Looking for an X, so my bet will be on banker. Two opportunities at the $8 level. I'm playing star version 1, okay? Okay, banker wins. We do get the X +8. We're still not out. We have to hit back to back, okay? I'm going to continue recording until we get to row number 2. Player wins. First row, all X's. If you were playing the original, you'd bet for the check mark here. Player wins, another X. I'm also looking for the X, so my parlay will be on banker. Since I won my last bet, we are pressing our bet here, looking for a back-to-back. Okay, banker wins. We do get the X, perfect, and there's our back-to-back hit. As you can see, we are at a +6. Okay, that is good enough for me. Let's add it to our total. This will be +20. So a lot of bets here, okay guys, but you have to stick to your game plan. Let's go ahead and clear everything here. All right, +20. We are not at our win goal for the session just yet, looking for 481. So let's head over to a brand new table and continue. Speed Baccarat K, looking for our 3 pattern. And then we'll try to hit our win goal of 481. Okay, we have a 3 pattern of player, banker, player. Let's take a free hand. Okay, first result is a check mark, so I am looking for the check mark, which means my first bet will be on banker. And since we hit back-to-back on stage 2 on the previous table, I am starting all over on stage 1. That is how the star betting strategy works. You only need to hit back-to-back once. All right, we pick up a win here. +2. So row 1, all check marks. Again, if you're playing the original, you would bet for an X here. So after this free hand, I will parlay my bet. Player wins, another check mark. That is what I will be looking for. So let's parlay on banker. No X's yet. Let's hope that continues. So we could pick up this win here. Nope. We get an X. -4. All right, looking for a banker here as we continue following what happened last. I'm looking for an X here. Player wins. Take a look, we get a double opposite, -2. That is our trigger to exit the table. And since we are in a -$4, we will continue where we left off on stage 1. Okay guys, so let's clear this. I'm gonna exit and look for a brand new shoe. Okay, I am on Speed Baccarat A with a 3 pattern of banker, player, player. Ready to take a free hand here. And I'll continue where I left off on stage 1. Player wins, we get an X. Also looking for an X. So I'll place a bet on banker here. Player wins, we get a check mark instead, -2. Looking for the check mark now. I'll put 3 on player. A little bit of lag, but we do pick up that win. I'm not sure what happened. +3. I will parlay my next bet. Start of the next row. Player wins, another X. Parlay will be on banker here. Nope, we get a check mark instead. -6, looking for a check mark. 3 on player. Last bet of stage 1, we have to hit back to back. Player wins, we do get the check mark. So we're still alive on stage 1, but we must win our parlay during this row. Player wins. Okay, my parlay will be on banker. The first 2 rows have been exactly the same. Take a look. Alright, player wins, we lose that. Heading over to stage 2 now. So I'll put $8 on the check mark. Okay, looking for back-to-back hits still. Nope, we get a double opposite. -8, that is our trigger to exit the table. Since we are at a loss, we will continue betting on stage 2 where we left off. I'm just going to clear this. Alright, I'm going to find another table. Speed Baccarat G. The first 3 results are all bankers. So I'm going to wait for a player to show up and then take the last 3 results. Okay, we do get a player finally. So the last 3 results of this shoe are banker, banker, player. That will be our 3 pattern. Let's wait for a free hand. And then we'll continue on stage 2. Banker wins, check mark. Let's bet for a banker here. Second attempt at the $8 level on stage 2. Nope, we get a player. So that is an X. I'm following the X now. $16 bet on banker. Oh, I couldn't get the bet off and went a little bit too fast there. It's okay, we're off by $1. Okay, we do get the X plus 16. Okay, I'm going to try to hit back to back during this row. Player wins, we get the X. Alright, I need the X to show up, so $32 bet on player. Can we hit back to back here? Let's see. Nope, banker wins. We get the check mark. Okay, so next bet is on player. Minus 32 here. Okay, player does win. We get the check mark here. I should say this is plus 15 because we didn't get the extra dollar off. So let me just adjust those. Sorry about that. Okay, banker wins, check mark. Also looking for a check mark, so I'll place a $32 bet on banker. I know it's not a exact parlay because I placed a $15 bet before, but it's okay. It's only a couple of dollars. Let's see if we can hit back to back here. Natural 9, banker wins. We do get the check mark, and we finally hit back to back, plus 32. Okay, we are in a little bit of a profit here, not a lot. But it doesn't matter as long as we go back to stage 1. I'm going to continue recording here, and then we will start the next row back on stage 1. Player wins, all check marks. Let's start the next row. I'm going to start it down here just so it's easier to follow because we are back on stage 1. Player wins, we get the X. Let's bet for the X here. So I'm looking for player. Natural 8, player does win. Plus 2. We will parlay the next bet. Take a look at the original Hong Kong strategy. 3 check marks in a row followed up by 3 X's in a row. So if you were playing the original, you would have came out with a win here. It does require more waiting around, but you know what? Patience is key to this game. Banker wins, check mark. Looking for a check mark here. I'll parlay the bet on banker. We get an X instead, so we lose the parlay. Looking for the X. Next bet will be on banker. And we get a double opposite, minus 2. That is our trigger to exit the table. We leave the table with a loss. So what I'm going to do is start the next table and continue where we left off on stage 1. Alright, so let's clear everything here. Okay, I'm going to find a new table. Speed Baccarat P. Let's go ahead and write down our 3 pattern. This video is getting pretty long. I may have to just upload 1 session for today. I normally do 2, sometimes 3, but I can see that this video has been going on for a while. I don't mind the patience, it's just I don't want the video to get too long for you guys. So we may have to just stick to 1 session for today. But we'll see. We still haven't hit our win goal yet. This shoe starts off with all bankers. So I'm going to wait for a player to show up, and then we will take the last 3 results as our 3 pattern. There is a player win, so the last 3 results are banker, banker, player. That will be our 3 pattern for this table. Okay, player wins, we get an X. We will follow the X. My next bet will be on player. Continuing where we left off on stage 1. We lose that as we get a check mark, -2. Looking for player here. Second last attempt on stage 1. We have to hit back to back. Okay, player does win, check mark, +3. Player wins, we get an X, so I will parlay it on player here. We do get the X, +6. We hit back to back. We can start over on stage 1. Still not at our win goal. We're off by about $5, $6. I'll continue some more. I know the session's been getting a little long, but let's play a few more free hands. But let's play a few more hands and see if we can hit that 481 or close to it. As we get a check mark here. Start of a new row. Banker wins, check mark. Looking for another check mark. 2 on bank. Banker does win. +2. If we hit our parlay, we will hit our win goal. Hopefully we do, because this session has been going on for a while. So waiting for the next row here. Player wins, all check marks. Here we go. This is the row. Let's take a free hand and then we'll place our bet. Player wins, we get an X. I'm looking for the X, so my parlay will be on player. If we win this, we hit our win goal. Come on. I need a little break, so hopefully we win this. Let's go player. Okay, the odds are in our favor. Yes, there we go. Finally, we get another X. +4, and take a look at our balance, 481 and 87 cents. Okay, we picked up a +11. If we add this to our total, it's +31. I know that's a little more than what we were targeting, but keep in mind the banker commissions do come into play. Also, if you guys remember my starting balance, it was a little lower than where we left off last session because of the price of Bitcoin. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit. All right, okay, let's remember our balance, 481.87. I am gonna pull up the spreadsheet. Okay, 481.87. Session number 18 in the books. I am gonna cut the video off right there since we've been playing this session for a while. Sorry about that, guys. I know I usually give you 2 sessions, but this session has been going on for too long, so that is why I'm cutting it short. I wanted to show off the Hong Kong strategy combined with the star betting strategy. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to destroy the like button. As always, subscribe to my channel, turn on bell notifications. If you want my sports picks, I'm doing baseball and basketball. We've been doing really well, actually. So if you want to join and pick up a subscription, go to my website, mrrafael.com. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Oh, by the way, let me know who you're picking, Conor McGregor or Dustin Poirier for the trilogy fight on Saturday night. I will be tuning in, so let me know who you like in the comments below. That is it for me. Have a great day. I will see you in the next one. Ciao.